Ladies and gentlemen, since President William Ruto got into power, there has been a trend where Kenyans are not fully participating in the national holidays. Now, national holidays from the times of Moi that I slightly experienced, that of Kibaki, and also now Uhuru Kenyatta, we had huge numbers of people attending such ceremonies. Actually, they're always done in huge stadiums in the country like Nyayo Stadium and Kasarani. And in all these times, we realized Kenyans used to celebrate these days. They attend these functions. Some of them listen to the president's speech and then they leave. Actually, in some of the areas like where they are led by the either county government or even the police commissioner of a certain county, we realize that the president's speech is always read and people actually sit down to listen. But now, since President William Ruto got into power, the trend has completely changed. That's going to form the basis of this analysis here today. But before I take you through, please, if this is the first time you're watching our videos, kindly make sure that you subscribe, like, and comment, because that is the best support you can always give this channel. Now, what could have happened to Kenyans that they are no longer listening to the president's speech, they are no longer attending some of these functions, and that is becoming difficult even for himself, because like today, when we had Jamhuri, Kenyans did not attend as such the way it's supposed to happen. And actually, to give an example, if you go to places like Embu, in fact, actually, it's only the police that were present in the stadium. And even the governor could not mobilize people to attend that function. That means that it's becoming terrible for the president and the leaders of this country to manage the public. And to make matters more worse is that, like today in the function that we had at Uhuru Gardens, there were key and prominent artists who attended, but despite inviting them simply to pull the crowds, they did not. The crowds still they did not attend. People did not come. The public did not come in large numbers. So therefore, we ask ourselves, what is this that is making people to turn against the national holidays, which we used to treasure before? Now, there are a few reasons that I've noted down that are going to form the basis of this, that are going to be the reasons as to why William Ruto is experiencing this kind of a low turnout, particularly in the public or national holidays. Now, first of all, during these kind of events where we had presidents presiding over them, we had presidents making certain pronouncements that later on were relieving to Kenyans. In every function, actually, you realize that a president is saying something that is in favor of Kenyans. One of them could be increment of salaries of the public servants. Some of them could be maybe lowering taxes of certain commodities, or maybe some policies are going to be passed and some pledges are going to be made of even promises that are achievable from such kind of events. But nowadays, William Ruto, the President of the Republic of Kenya, and his cabinet secretaries, they have embraced the culture of lying, where you realize that nobody from the government is speaking the reality or something that's going to happen. They just say things and they forget about them, and that is it. So Kenya has kept on listening. William Ruto speak and does not do anything. He says this, he does the other opposite thing. So as a result, you realize Kenyans are no longer interested to hear what he's saying, because we have to agree here that when people attend such functions, they're basically going to listen to the president as the father of the nation on what he's saying and what's good he has for the people of Kenya. But when you realize that, then they go there, the president says this and then he does that, or he does not do anything, people get discouraged of attending these functions and even listening. Now, another reason I feel strongly that is making Kenyans not to attend these functions or even not to embrace them, they used to happen before, it's also because of their political class that has become very arrogant and ignorant of what the common man is experiencing. Because it's not just the president not experiencing. It's not just the president who is experiencing this kind of a low turnout. Even the county government, a county governor cannot call people to come and sit down and listen to, people to come and listen to what he's saying. The reason being is that these leaders have completely diverted every attention to their stomachs. You realize governors, right, left, and center, they're making themselves rich, acquiring huge pieces of land, becoming billionaires day by day. Yet our counties are not doing well. Huge amounts of money is wasted into corruption and other embezzlement forms. So therefore, you realize that it's not only Ruto who is not only Ruto discouraging the common mananchi, but also even the local governments have completely failed to embrace the common mananchi, particularly even the problems they are experiencing. So therefore, that also contributes hugely to some of the people who are not attending these functions. Another thing I want to say here strongly, it's because of the language that is always used across board. You realize that the language that is being used by most of the politicians shows some level of disconnection between them and the ground. You realize the ground is saying that we don't want this and that. A government officer comes on board and says that the government will do this and that, whether you like it or not. Such kind of statements to the public, they make them feel angry. And when the public is in anger or in such kind of a mood, they can completely disappoint or even fail to attend some of these functions because they are coming to interact with you. So therefore, that is a very strong reason as to why you cannot see some of these people attending such functions. The other thing I want to say is the effect of the Gen Z and also the effect of the overall youth in this country. We have to realize that some of these functions, like when I was a kid, my dad could take me to Uhuru Park to go and attend maybe President Kibaki's event. I am going there to Uhuru Park to see President Kibaki, to see some ministers, to see some things there. But nowadays, you realize the youths are completely disconnected. They're not interested with what these government people are doing. They're not interested to hear anything. So the Gen Z's effect is completely taking place in this country, because if you realize that, for instance, the people who attend some of these functions, most of them are youths. People can walk for long distances, people who can sustain the harsh climate conditions or weather conditions like strong sun and even sometimes rain, even sometimes jam. People can walk for long distances in case the cars are most of them are occupied. So you realize that these youths, because they're disinterested with what the government is doing, they decided to literally avoid or keep off these functions. Now, we can't also avoid saying that people feel that there's a lot of wastage that is taking place in government, and therefore they see also attendance or maybe organizing of these functions is a wastage of public resources. They feel that how they wish these kind of functions could have been organized probably in just State House or something small, and then the rest of the money is channeled to things like development, school fees, and other things. That one also discourages Kenyans a lot from attending some of these functions. Now, we can't rule out that the professional class in this country also plays a significant role in attending some of these functions. Professional class, these are doctors, teachers, and many other professional sectors. You realize that these people are constantly on strikes. Talk about doctors right now, the interns. These kind of things, when they happen, there are no guards for people to go and listen to the president. Imagine you're at Uhuru Park inspecting a parade, military parade, and the doctors are in the streets, in the sun, asking for their payment, asking for their salaries. Then you realize that the president cannot even take time during the Mashujaa Day to say this and that will help the doctors. Now, you realize when discourage some of these professional groups, you make them feel minute, make them feel relevant in this country, they have an effect because they handle common patients, common people. They tell them, I don't like this. And when a doctor speaks to a patient, tells him we are not liking the way this and that is happening. Or maybe a patient goes to hospital, finds a doctor is there. Then the patient perhaps is treated and then there are no medication. The doctor just makes a very simple statement. Now you see this government is failing us. And as a result, this patient will live there annoyed, angered about the government, because if medications are not there, it's because of them. So therefore, we can't rule out the professional effect on this low turnout of Mashujaa Day, or maybe any other holiday like Jamhuri that we had today. That is my video there and there. I don't know what is your take as far as the low attendance or lack of embracing these kind of functions is concerned, but let me kindly see your opinion on the comment section. And if this is the first time you're watching our videos, please make sure that you subscribe, like, and comment, because that is the best support you can always give this channel. My name is Abel Mukwa. See you next time for more videos.